My name is Phill. I am Rob's younger brother, and I have the privilege tonight to be the best man. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Richard and Sylvia and my parents, Robert and Janet, for putting this event together. It's a wonderful event. I'd especially like to... Of course, I'd like to thank for the bar, without which this speech would not be possible. So, as I said, I'm Rob's younger and clearly much more attractive. I am single. I'll start by saying that I am truly honored to be Rob's best man tonight. It's one of those moments that younger brothers look forward to their whole lives. For me especially, because now is my chance to stand up here and stand next to Rob and speak without being interrupted. So, without a doubt, the next few minutes will be the longest he's ever heard me talk. Now, I'm told that my job is to stand up here and talk about how amazing Rob is. I just can't lie to you like that. What I can do is I can tell you who the real Rob is, who he is to me. The Lennon to my McCartney, the Jon Stewart to my Stephen Colbert, or the Jake to my Elwood Blues. So who is Rob? His elementary school teachers, it turns out, as my mother said last night, they got it right. They always said the same thing about him. They said, well, Robbie's a very smart boy, but he sure does talk a lot, and I wish he would give other students a chance to participate. Shocker, he ended up in politics. So he's always been the person that I've looked up to more than anyone else in the world, and for the longest time I couldn't quite figure out why. And then a few years ago, and I'm sure Rob doesn't remember this, we were all together at Thanksgiving, talking about the New Hampshire primary. Shocker. Thank you, the New Hampshire crowd. And my mother asked, well, where's the campaign going to send you when, New Hampshire primary is over? And he actually said something that I won't ever forget. He said, I'm more concerned about where my staff goes than about where I go. New Hampshire staff. It was in that moment right there that I realized who Rob really is. Rob has always been the person who's actually cared about others far more than he's cared about himself. When I think about it, he was always the person who kind of looked after, our little brother Peter and I. He was a big advocate of the expression, nobody hits my brother but me. Lucky for us, he more than made up for that. So when I figure out, what makes Rob so admirable, I have to think, well, I never saw this before. How did this happen? What changed in him? I'll give you a hint. The answer is sitting next to him in a white dress. I have to admit, I didn't know Jarrell at that point. I didn't know her very well. But obviously I learned, as we all have, that she's one of the kindest and funniest and sweetest women, in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it became apparent to me pretty quickly that if Rob didn't end up marrying her, he'd go from the smartest guy I ever met to the dumbest. The simple fact is, as the cliche goes, these two are indeed meant for each other. There's no question in my mind that the love and caring that they have is absolutely limitless. I can tell you that because Jarrell's already passed the big test. She's put up with Rob by herself for many years, which is no arduous task. And for Rob, what they taught me was that when they're together, Jarrell doesn't just make Rob a better person, but she brings out the very best in him that it turns out was always there to begin with. Now someday, the two of you will have kids. And based solely on the love and caring of their parents, we know they're going to be great kids. And God help their teachers. With any luck, they'll take after their favorite uncle. And when it happens, my only hope for them is that your oldest child is as good to the youngest child as Rob has been to me. So here's to you. Congratulations, I truly honored that you both.